People, how are we? Hopefully you're all doing well. I've just finished watching the AJ versus Ngannou face-off, and go and give it a watch. It's over on the Zone YouTube channel. Quite good. Nothing fiery, but with those two characters, quite respectful, aren't they? So I don't really expect to see anything like that. But quite good. I think off the bat, I'd say AJ looked quite, for lack of a better word, he looked a bit timid, more timid than usual, which is obviously different for AJ. I think that's probably just because the sheer size of Ngannou. It's not very often you'll see AJ as a smaller man, but with Ngannou, who he is, Ngannou walks around at 290 pounds. That's a lot of weight. That's a make weight for the UFC heavyweight division. Kind of says all you need to know about Ngannou. I think the first thing I noticed was just how much praise AJ was giving Ngannou, which surprised me. Is obviously initially when AJ was asked if he'd ever fight Ngannou, he said that it's a gimmick fight, so no, he wouldn't. But if it's a gimmick fight, why are you giving him loads of praise? He said about how he wasn't surprised. He was asked, "Oh, are you surprised at the way the fight went?" He said, "No, because he's watched Ngannou and he's watched Fury, and if he was in there, Fury, something similar would happen." But if you weren't surprised, then why you're now? You said you wouldn't take this fight. You're now taking this fight off the back of how Ngannou did against Fury. But if you're not surprised that that's how it went, then why do you say you wouldn't take it? Surely you would have predicted this is how it would have went. So you'd have said, "Let's see how he does against Fury." So I think that was more of a jibe towards Fury than it was a compliment towards Ngannou. Said, "Oh yeah, I'm not surprised if I was in there, Fury." But yeah, he was giving him a lot of praise, a lot of plaudits, right? If that's the right word. But if that's the case, why did you say it was a gimmick fight, and you wouldn't do it because you're not into gimmicks? He then went on to say that he's taking this fight because he wants to lead his career towards another title fight, and doing this, taking this fight, is doing that. It's leading this. It's leading his career towards a title fight. If he wins this fight, it's taking him in the direction of a title fight. That's why he chose this, because he was asked, "Why did you choose this?" Obviously, I was Wilder, but outside of that, there's the likes of Zhang, Parker. Why did he choose Ngannou? He said everything he's doing. There's even Hergovich, but why did you choose Ngannou? He said everything he's doing is taking him toward a title fight, and taking this fight takes him that one step further toward the title fight. Presumably, that's because of the outcome of Ngannou versus Fury. Because obviously, if Fury wipes the floor with Ngannou, this doesn't take him closer to a title fight, does it? I think we can kind of all agree that this doesn't take him towards a title fight if Ngannou got the absolutely handed to him by Fury. But that didn't happen. So I think presumably in taking this fight, if he's able to wipe the floor with Ngannou and do what Fury couldn't, it certainly makes that AJ Fury fight a lot more realistic. How realistic, I don't know. Will we see it regardless? I don't know. But it makes it more likely because he did to Ngannou what Fury couldn't. So I'd imagine that's his thinking. Because really, if you beat Zhang, you're the interim. If you beat Hergovich, you're the mandatory. So does it take you closer than those two? Well, arguably, almost not arguably, it just doesn't. So again, for me, I think the reason why it's close to a title fight is because it's a big fight, eyes on the sport, eyes on the fight. If he can do what Ngannou do to Ngannou, what Fury couldn't do, he's one step closer to that Fury fight. And if Fury beats Usyk, it's a title fight. And let's have it right, money. You compare that to Ngannou's response. Ngannou was asked the same question: "Why did you take this fight?" And he was like, "Well, I asked for this fight. I didn't take it. I asked for this fight." And the reason why is because I'm contrary to AJ. I'm not looking for titles. I don't want to go and be the undisputed champion of this division. I just want good fights. That's what I want. I want good fights, a couple of years at this, and my first two fights, I'll be fighting two of the top three. Arguably the best of the generation, and then someone who's not far off in Fury, in AJ. I'll be fighting two of the top three guys in our generation. That's why I'm fighting it, because I want good fights. Which you can't dispute. He's getting good fights. He's having good fights. He's enjoying good fights. And do you know what? He's making it good fights. That Fury fight was a very good fight. People are intrigued about this AJ fight because of how he fared in the AJ fight, in the Fury fight. Sorry, but yeah, you can't argue that. He said he doesn't want title fights. He just wants good fights, and he's getting the good fights. So They went on about the snakes and ladders. AJ said if you climb, if you win, you go up the ladders. If you lose, you go right back down. And the guy was like, no, you don't. If you lose, it still fights there for you. As is shown with this one. I don't agree. I agree with AJ because you look at AJ and lost to Usyk, he did go right way down. And Ngannou arguably didn't lose to Fury first and foremost, but records books say he does, and he has slid him down. Because if he beat Fury, all of a sudden it's Usyk versus Ngannou, or it's Fury and Ngannou the rematch. You know what I mean? He doesn't slide down, not very far, but he's slidden down to AJ, who is, Fury, Usyk, AJ, Usyk, Fury, AJ. AJ is the bottom of the three. Unless you might have it Usyk, AJ, Fury, which I do, but regardless, he's slidden down, right? And yeah, if he'd have won that fight, he's fighting for the undisputed against Usyk, or he's fighting the rematch against Fury. So in losing that, he has slid him down. Not far, but he's slid him down. And if he lost convincingly, and if he loses to AJ convincingly, it's done. Because Turki Al Sheikh's already said he wanted Fury to put a show-stopping performance in, which he didn't. And now that's AJ's job. He wants AJ to put a show-stopping performance in. He said, I like you, but someone needs to stop this. So clearly, if you lose, you slide right down the rung. You might be involved in other fights. I'm sure he will be. Because he's an entertaining fighter, and that's what Saudi Arabia wants. But you're not that guy. You're not involved in those huge fights. You will slide down. The thing to touch on was Ngannou said, and I think we all knew this, I said it before, but in the face-off, Ngannou said that AJ isn't as resilient as Tyson Fury. If he hit AJ with the same shot that knocked down Tyson Fury, AJ is not getting back up from that because Fury is one of the most resilient fighters in the game, and AJ hasn't got the same chin. Not that he didn't say that AJ's chin's bad. He just said that AJ's chin isn't as good. AJ's response to that is, well, who's knocked me down? Everyone's knocked down Tyson Fury. Only a couple, and who's knocked me out? Who's knocked me out clean? No one. Whereas everyone's knocked down Tyson Fury. And I see both points here, right? Because on one side, AJ's right. Who hasn't knocked down Tyson Fury? I said in my breakdown video, Steve Cunningham's knocked down Tyson Fury. Obviously, Wilder's knocked down Tyson Fury. Loads of people have knocked down Tyson Fury. It's not an uncommon thing. Ngannou's no different. Look at people who have knocked down. You look at people who have knocked down AJ, and you've got he was wobbled by White, never knocked down, but wobbled by White. White's not it was a British title fight, a competitive one, probably the biggest in the last 10 years at least. And White had a hard hit, has a hard hit. Probably was juicing, allegedly. So there's that. There was also the Klitschko, which, yeah, okay, it's a common opponent, but who's to say if Fury got clipped by that, he wouldn't have reacted the same. Now, Fury didn't get clipped by that, and that's entirely because Fury was too good in that fight. Whether it's he was too good to let Klitschko clip him or whatever the fuck it was, he didn't get clipped. And that's his doing. Fair enough. But if he did get clipped with a punch that dropped AJ, who's to say that wouldn't have dropped Fury? Another person was Andy Ruiz, but we're led to believe that going into that fight he was concussed and had a few issues. So there was that. So they're the three people that have dropped AJ versus lots of people that have dropped Fury. What I will say, which I think is more Ngannou's point, is it's not the resilience, it's the recovery. Fury can recover like nobody else. AJ was clipped by White, and yeah, he recovered, but he was never dropped. AJ was dropped by Klitschko, and from the rest of that fight, I don't think he ever really... Yes, okay, he won the fight, but I don't think he properly recovered. Not to the same standard you see that Fury did it. And then the Ruiz one, obviously, he never recovered. Again, whether that's because of previous issues in camp or whatever it was, he never recovered. We've seen Fury get dropped by seriously hard hits, and he recovers nice and easy, nice and quick, like nothing's happened. That's what Fury has that AJ doesn't, is the recovery. You'll hit Fury with a punch, anyone else will get knocked clean out, and he'll recover from it and be fine. I think that's Ngannou's point. But then AJ's counter to that was, well, who's knocked me out? Who's knocked me out clean like that? Nobody has, so I've got the better chin. So I kind of see both points. I don't know, obviously. I can't sit here and say whether that's true or not, because that punch that Ruiz caught AJ with is very similar to that punch that Ngannou caught Fury with. So maybe not. Maybe he's right. I don't know. And obviously Ngannou probably hits a hell of a lot harder than Ruiz, right? So I'm not here to pick and choose. I think I see both points. From AJ's point of view, you got to think, well, yeah, but everyone's knocked down Fury, so I don't really care, whereas no one's knocked me down. From Ngannou's point of view, you're going, well, yeah, but I knocked him down, but like everyone else, he gets up and he recovers, which is true. And in fact, you could probably argue he probably, Fury didn't recover properly because he was boxing. Suddenly he changed his way of fighting, was boxing and boxing. So I see both points. I just thought it was worth mentioning that yeah, I think they both kind of definitely had a bit of a head-to-head there. The last thing I'll mention is it's a 10-round fight. I thought it might be a 12-rounder because obviously AJ always fights 12 rounds and Ngannou is now having his second fight. It's a 10-round fight. When Ade asked, why is it a 10-round fight? AJ was like, I don't know. It just is. And Ngannou was like, I asked for it. I wanted 10 rounds. Which is wise, smart of him. Because obviously when you first turn over, you fight 3-round fights because you need to adapt to it and learn. Obviously he's coming over from UFC. But the same sort of thing. And Ngannou said, look, I'm still a novice. I'm not going to come out of this Fury fight pretending I'm the pro, I'm the best that's ever done it, and start fighting 12 rounders. I still have to adapt and learn. So put me now on a 10-rounder, which is what's happening, right? I don't know who that benefits. If it goes the distance, you'd like to say it will be clear cut enough that actually it makes no difference. AJ is already in the lead, like quite comfortably. You'd also like to say Ngannou might gas, but he didn't against Fury. AJ shouldn't because he's used to fighting 12, so AJ should be able to push that pressure more. So I'm not sure, but I'd rather it be 12. But I understand from Ngannou's point of view, 100% that's the right thing to have done. Is after 10 rounds, I completely get that. So fair enough to him. I don't know. Coming out of that, it's one of those. I just think you can only take so much from face-offs and head-to-heads and all this because it's not the fight. But I would say, Ngannou looks like he's got the upper hand. AJ looks a bit more not scared, but like I said, timid. Obviously, Ngannou was the one that asked for the fight. Ngannou was the first to say, yeah, I'm going for the knockout. Ngannou was the one that said, yeah, I wanted 10 rounds. It's on my terms. I don't care about titles. I just want to have the good fights. The only thing I would say is Ngannou did say, if I was a betting man, I'd bet on AJ if I wasn't in the fight. Because I'm in the fight, I'd obviously bet on me. So that's my analysis of it, right, guys? Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, peace. You know how YouTube works.